thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Well, Tommy, here we are for the 100th time. Hand grenade pins in every line. I think I've started with that.
You have
multiple times before.
When you have a banger, you can't let it go.
Some
right?
people, it's probably been like 100 episodes at this point,
Probably.
so who knows? This is episode 334 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing. And my name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
It is Blue Shirt Day once again. I think we
kind of the classics day today.
Yeah, funny thing though. No, but we've never discussed this, but these are this particular, talking about the lift shirt that I'm wearing.
That printing.
Yeah, this printing, they're far been sold for years from now, so we don't have to hide it in order to discourage people from buying them. But this, some people listening might have this exact lift shirt too. The difference is hard to notice maybe if you don't know what you're looking for, but if you know what you're looking for, the blue print on this particular lift shirt
It's more
that
of
I'm
a
wearing,
royal blue versus a navy
blue. Like the common typical lift shirt blue print is navy. This is more royal. It was a misprint that we had like a few hundred of these, maybe like 3
It's
years
like
ago.
we can describe. It's. I'm assuming this is how fine watch collectors like Rolex people. It's like you can tell that watch is from 1980.
That's from 2018 because it has the lighter blue. Yeah,
and we carried over to t-shirts.
So if you're looking and you're wearing your lift shirt right now and you're looking down and the blue print is
like
not navy,
a brighter blue.
Yeah, it's
I think
brighter.
that's from when we had our first booth at the Arnold. Correct?
It was.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think we had 300 of them even. I think we got a discount on it because we said, hey, this is
the
not
color's
right.
off. It was funny because we had a different printer at the time and they had printed that shirt many, many times, but for whatever reason that time they decided to use a different blue.
We did not sell them at a discount though, so it was kind of a win-win for us, wasn't it? Because nobody ever said anything about it.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the
No,
shirt. It was
just not. Yeah,
historically, it didn't match to
right.
But actually, at that point we had even gone through a few different printers, and every single printer, the blue was slightly different.
Right, that's true too. So that's a little piece of interesting Massenomics merchandise history.
I was just gonna say, well, maybe we should read ads first, but I was gonna say, man, after taking a week off, I kind of feel like I don't know what I'm doing right now. Like I'm on edge. I'm looking.
My hands
is
go?
that recording? Is this recording? Is the Discord working? Like, there's a lot of things going on right now.
I know. That's the Massenomics podcast.
That's what happens when you take time off. Well, I have a special announcement, Tanner.
Oh, this actually is a special announcement.
Special announcement.
Yeah.
Everyone, listen up. Stop what you're doing.
Stop
If you're
whatever else you're
driving,
doing.
Pull over to the side of the road.
This is important. This is not
need
your
to
average
listen.
ad read.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bearfoot Shoes.
Oh, hello. What?
Listen up, Tanner.
Barefoot Shoes?
Listen
I didn't know they
up.
sponsored this show.
Most shoes harm your mobility by over-restricting your foot's natural movement. Barefoot shoes are designed with minimal restrictions so your feet can move the way they're supposed to. Move with more strength and confidence in every step. Bearfoot Shoes was founded by Chris Duffin, who attributes proper foot biomechanics as foundational to his success in squatting and deadlifting over 1,000 pounds for reps. He helped create the company to provide a minimalist shoe that can be worn for anything from deadlifts to walking your dog. Go to barefoot.shoes, one more time, www.barefoot.shoes to check out the best minimal shoes available. And if you're a regular listener of this podcast, you would know that we recently got ourselves a pair of Barefoot
I think we
shoes.
just unboxed yours on last week's episode.
That was, okay.
So, episode 333. We've had them for a little longer than that.
And since then, we've got to use them a few times, and I like them. I really do.
Yeah, and someone asked in the Discord, is it barefoot or barefoot? It's barefoot. I guess it would help to
It is
spell.
barefoot like the animal.
Yeah.
Like BEAR.
Oh, I actually just forgot. I thought before we should pull up that ad, I was going to pull up a YouTube clip of a bear making a really good roaring sound, to lead into the odd.
Yeah. God.
So next time maybe we'll do that.
We'll get the effects going.
But yeah, we've both been wearing them. I really like them. Since we've got them, it's the only shoe I've worn in the gym.
And we're both coming from longtime TR light wearers over
we
here.
are like historically, if you've listened to the podcast, I mean, this is where Repeatonomics will come into play here. They'll catch us saying probably like 4 years ago, we said something about how we would never wear any other shoe.
We might. Well, I think it would have until something came along
Right.
of similar attributes.
Yeah.
And I think this fits that.
So, and they have that similar shape, the wider toe box, which I always liked. But now it's a way more...
the super minimal sole is weird getting used to.
Right. After you wear it for a while, it makes sense though, doesn't it? I've been the zero drop heel is probably like the biggest part for me to get used to because I'm used to because of the way shoes are designed. That raised heel. Yeah. Like I'm more used to my toes being pretty close to the ground, but it's like the full foot. And
we're not talking about like wearing lifters, but just every shoe has the midsole has a bit of an incline to it. Always.
Exactly. And I'm really enjoying them, and they took like a week, and now they feel like more broken.
Yeah, and they do. So speaking of, I guess we're actually turning this ad into almost our quick review of them so far. But I would say they fit true to size. I wear an 11 in basically everything. Well, Nike, Adidas, I wear 11. I wore 11 in these, and to me, that's exactly the right size. You might say the toe box is maybe a little tight across the top, just the way they're constructed. It is a minimal shoe, so it doesn't have a lot of like structure built around it.
Right.
But I do think that quickly stretches out, breaks in to where you don't really notice it anymore. So 11 was the right size, and I've got to now have like 5 workouts in them, and I have really enjoyed them. I think they're quality construction. And they're good in the gym.
Amen.
Sweet. Someone, Big Joey in the Discord asked, is there a code? There's not a code, but when you're ordering them, just make some comment that Massenomics sent you if you do get that far. Or just go to their website and tell them Massenomics sent you.
Just harass them in whatever.
They
respond to their Instagram DMs.
Or go to their Instagram posts and just say Massenomics told us to come here. Something like that. They'll like that. So, and they also, if you didn't catch the episode where we talked about them, they are our neighbors to the north.
Maybe we'll have to go up there sometime and do a little tour.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
It's possible we could be headed that way sometime soon here.
Actually, we probably will be, won't we? We might have to make it.
Turns into a tricky,
it's a whole thing. Yeah.
That could be cool, though.
That's a good idea.
Ideas. So, once again, thank you to Bearfoot Shoes, www.barefoot, BEARFOOT.shoes to check out what they got going on.
Excellent.
And then I'm going to read you one more little something here. And this is from our friends at Swisslink. In 1995, Maurice Big Mo Huffman founded Swisslink. He had a partner based in Switzerland, and their mission was to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Over the years, that mission expanded to nations across Europe and beyond. Now, for nearly 3 decades, Big Mo has been traveling far and wide in search of the best items from military forces around the world. Big Mo doesn't only find authentic military clothing for Swisslink, he brings in everything you can imagine from Czech Army bedpans to Italian champagne glasses. At Swisslink.com, you can find classic military surplus uniforms, a great section of military issue backpacks, tools, wool blankets, NATO fuel cans, gas masks, emergency food, first aid kits, survival packs, camping gear, and so much more. Swisslink's unrivaled collection and dedication to quality customer service sets them apart from the rest. Treat yourself to the real thing with authentic military surplus and save 15% off your first order from Swisslink.com with the code MASS at checkout. That's MASS to save 15%. Thank you, Swisslink, and you can check them out online at Swisslink.com.
All right. We do have a can sack segment to get to. Well, I think we'll split that up because the part of the sack that would take us all the way up to our guest if we get into that now.
Okay.
So, but maybe we want to do the can part of it.
We can do that.
So we can get into that. But first, you did have pretty exciting news this week, right? Your bench press went pretty well.
Yeah. Actually, it's been a great week for a lot of that.
We made that same joke when I had my first daughter like 4 or 5 years ago on the podcast. It'd
probably be really funny to look that up and find that one. Because we probably cracked up.
Yeah,
about that
yes,
too, I'm sure.
yes.
Just some things never get old, right? Yeah. So on top of having just some great training with Juggernaut, which I do want to talk about that. We'll talk about it with
Save
the ad.
it
Maybe
for the ad.
We'll save it for the ad. Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
But oh man, Juggernaut just working wonders. But yep, I had a baby, and by I had a baby, I mean my wife had a baby. But we now have 2 children in our house.
Yep. Double them
trouble. No, we have a healthy little baby girl, and yeah, life's good, man.
The classic $1 million family. Are you familiar with that term before?
Just from hearing you say it,
I never. So I
don't
didn't
think
know
I ever
that
heard
until
of
we had a son, and when we had the girl, someone said that, and I remember having to Google it. I'm like, what does that mean? And that's what husband and wife with a boy and a girl.
I guess
It's $1 million family.
And I never cared either way if we had boys or girls,
Right.
if we had all girls, all boys, whatever. And now we have one of each, and it's pretty cool. Like, there's some girls are different than boys. There's been a little bit of learning process involved.
have noticed. There's been a few things I've picked up on over the years.
Just a few, not many. But yeah, everyone's healthy. Everyone's doing good. So
And Bernie's adjusting.
the dog loves her. He wants to be right by her. He would not stop licking her, so we got to almost like get him away, which is weird because he doesn't lick us, but the baby, he just wants to lick the baby. It's like he's the mother and this is one of his puppies or something.
Yeah. And because longtime listeners are well aware of Bernie from over the years and would be concerned if Bernie wasn't adjusting what,
Yeah. I mean,
people
he is
know.
protective of the house,
Right,
but it's only
right.
when you're around.
Yeah. I wonder he barks at me a little less than he used to, though.
A little less, not a lot less.
There
Some
wasn't
nights
there one day
some
he
nights
didn't
it is
bark?
kind of, there was like a 2 or 3 week stretch in there where you'd walk in the house and go, "Row," like one bark, and then he was just done, and that was
like,
it.
Yeah, I don't have time for any more. than
Yeah,
that
and I
today.
don't. Now he's back to barking a fair amount.
Okay, so we're gonna do the can segment.
Should I not look here? Or?
Yeah, don't look at
Okay,
the can. You
okay.
can just close your eyes. I think we've had it before, but you can still go through the guessing process because I
Okay.
believe it's been a little while. And this is a fan submission. Fun story about this. This was not a mailed in fan submission like we so often
Was it a
get.
hand-delivered?
This was a hand-delivered fan submission, which we can talk a little bit more about that.
All
but
right.
Maybe we'll try this can first.
I'm picking up scents of fruit here.
I'm picking up one of these Massenomics koozies.
God, I know what this flavor. It's cherry something, right? It's got to be cherry something.
Are you saying cherry of some sort?
Cherry of some sort. Is there something else there? It has to be cherry, right? Cherry? Can I look?
Yep.
Cranberry lime.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And I think the cranberry does taste a
Yeah.
lot like cherry in this. Like
I was going to say
much
cherry lime, but I know, as far as I know, there's no cherry limes, but cranberry lime. There we
cranberry
go.
lime. So this was hand delivered by Discord crew supporting member Big Alex. Big Alex was making a little cross country voyage, and he stopped at Massenomics along the way.
I was pretty jealous. So
Yeah.
you didn't bug me, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Because I had stuff
A
going on.
Yeah, yes, a newborn.
But I was pretty jealous when I saw that you had the picture posted with him and it said Big Alex. And I'm just thinking, is that Big Alex from the Discord or
Yep.
some other Big Alex?
Yep.
But it was Big Alex from the Discord. And yeah, I was jealous of you.
It
on that
was
one.
Big Alex. We he came to the gym. I was outside when he pulled up, and I got there just before him, and came and hung out at the gym for maybe an hour and a half, something like that. We talked Massenomics shop, old Massenomics, new Massenomics. Grilled me on some of the insider Massenomics info that you only get to know if you make the trip to
there
Western
is-
Northeast South
and there
Dakota.
is that. Maybe even in person.
Yeah, in
There
person's
is- If you get to meet in person, you do get some inside
Yes.
scoops on things.
Yes. So to spill the beans, it's been said before that Big Eddie knows the story of the one member of Massenomics
That's
gym
been
that ever
kicked
had to
out.
be kicked out. Big Alex now also knows the story.
Okay.
So
See, I wasn't going to bring it up because I didn't know if I didn't want him to maybe feel left out.
no,
If
he
should-
also
okay.
knows the story now too. So
All right, the legend's growing.
I also let him in on the one details on the one Massenomics supplement that never was that we've never really fully talked about.
Yep.
So just more incentive reasons to make the trip
people to show up.
to make the trip.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun though, actually. It's always great when we have people that have been listening for years. You know, he knows the full back catalog and it's just
and really get what we're doing.
right. So it was a lot of fun.
So before you even said that, or before I even saw the picture that Big Alex was in the gym, I was going through Discord one day and I saw something I had to screenshot, and it actually happened to be from Big Alex.
Okay.
And I thought this was really good. He wrote, so it was a funny coincidence that I screenshotted this, and I think it was maybe hours later I saw that picture. So he had something in there, and he said, want to talk about real jobs and responsibilities? Nah. Want to listen to a banker and a graphic designer talk about fizzy water and Googling shit on their phones? And it's the thing from Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty,
yeah.
Yep.
And man, if that isn't like
what is it? A banker and a graphic designer
talking about fizzy water and Googling things. Like if that's honestly
a pretty
probably a
good
better way to
description of the
describe this
podcast,
podcast than it's two guys talking about lifting. Like that is a for sure more accurate description than two guys talking about lifting.
That's true. We always describe it like two guys talking. You were just on the Barbend podcast this week. You got to make a repeat appearance there.
I did.
And always something like whenever either of us are in any podcast or something like that, it's like describing what it is we do and stuff. And that might be a better description to use.
Honestly, might be.
Yeah.
But I think people might also get the wrong idea when they think of banker and graphic designer.
Yeah, we're not talking
probably think a guy in like a suit.
Yeah.
Like this really uptight guy in a suit, and then I don't know, maybe some scrawny artist guy.
Yeah.
And also they kind of get that wrong. That doesn't paint the best picture either there, you know?
No, it doesn't. It's a cross between those two things, I guess. But for anyone that hasn't listened to that episode of the Barbend podcast, check it out. It's their most recent episode as of right now, at least. I can't remember what the title of it was, but it's probably got your name in the title, right?
Yeah, I think it said Our Lifter's Funny or something like that.
And there was a lot of good Massenomics talk in there.
A lot of Massenomics talk. Yeah. I just gotta assume when people listen to that episode that are regular listeners of that show, to be like, what's the deal with this episode?
Yeah.
Because the intro is even, we talk to the world's finest strength and conditioning coaches. And to get you deeper knowledge. And then all of a sudden,
and also Massenomics.
all of a sudden they're talking to me. It's like, man, that intro was not set up correctly for this interview.
Oh, they also did say Defee.
Oh, did they? Well, he asked me to say my last name like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I kept saying it. And he's like, oh, okay.
I think
make sure I get that.
I don't remember him saying it wrong the first time you were on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But that happens. I probably said so many names wrong. I couldn't even keep count.
I don't really care.
But it was, I would just say again, it was really fun to have Big Alex there. And there is something else from him that we'll get to later.
All right.
It'll be quite interesting. There's a lot of stuff that's gone on in the amount of time here that I did think maybe we should just touch on the Shaw Classic quick, since that is kind of, I mean, it's already happened at this point. You know, it's kind of well in the past, but there's just some noteworthy stuff about it, I think. And Trey Mitchell did win, obviously friend of the podcast. He's been on before. Other notable friends of the podcast, Big Bobby Thompson was in there. He withdrew because of an injury and like halfway through, but Trey won. He beat Brian. It came down to the stones, the very final stone run, those two head to head. Whoever won was going to win the show. Trey beat him. Hooper Mitchell got third, Alexei Novikov fourth, and on down the line. Luke Stoltman withdrew. Jerry Pritchett couldn't do very many of the events. Zydrunas Savickas was 10th. And one of the marquee events for that competition this year was this leg press with a car on top of it.
Yes, yeah, I did see.
They'd been talking about, and it was very new. Nobody's ever done it before, and from what I know and saw, it did not go well.
Okay, I was very curious how the rules are enforced on that one at all.
it didn't play out well.
Okay.
Like there was a lot of people that a lot of the competitors that I don't
the immediate
think,
first thing that I saw when I watched that. I'm thinking, how the hell did they count this? Not just for one person, but then consistently across the board for anyway, because leg press is notorious for.
Yeah, and there was supposed to be rules about like their back not leaving and stuff, and I think it was really difficult to judge, and the athletes weren't happy about it, and it was really heavy, and I don't know really a lot of the specific details, but I just kind of know in summary that it probably didn't go that well, but maybe they could do it again and fine tune, learn from what they missed on, and
Right.
And then conspiracy theory. Shaw and Trey won 2 years in a row, and I think Shaw got second 2 years in a row now. It would look like the first year Shaw won, it was a much smaller deal. It's grown. This competition's grown a lot in the 3 years, and it's kind of the heaviest show now.
Is it really?
Yeah, everything's real. I mean,
more than the Arnold.
you could probably say either one's the heaviest show, but they're like kind of the same. But it's always events that Brian Shaw is good at. Like it's all the events that he's good at, and I'm not even blaming. I'm not saying anything there. Like so be it. Like I mean, of course it is. Like why is he going to pick the super heavy yoke, super heavy farmer's carry, heavy log press, a heavy Hummer tire deadlift in particular, which is circus dumbbell, which he's been good at many years, but that. Leg press, like he's a guy that's always trained leg press and heavy leg press, but that's not the conspiracy theory. I think now that this event is getting prestigious and is one of the top 5, 3, 4, whatever you want to say, strongman events in the world, it would maybe look bad if he's getting first.
Well, yeah, that's what,
But it doesn't look too bad if he's getting second. So when it comes down to him and Trey on the stones at the end, my theory is he might know he's no dummy.
I can't win this.
Yeah, I bet I very well could picture him doing that, and Trey may have just beat him anyways. But I bet there's a thought in Shaw's mind that he's like, I am going to get I am not going to beat him on this because it.
Yeah, and it is a weird thing because of how big it is with sponsor money and all that
right.
too.
Well, and he gives, if he wins, he gives his money to the other people and stuff.
Oh, does he? Does he? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And like he's the one putting up a lot of the money to begin with.
But there's still it's a big event. Like there's a lot of stuff in. They have sponsors though, don't they?
Yeah, but like a lot of, I think Shaw himself
is the majority of the pot?
I do think so.
Okay.
Shaw, and then the live stream sales and the actual ticket sales, because there's a bunch of people there. There was actually like ticket revenue. So I don't know how much they got from other, like maybe like Rogue and a couple of big ones, but I think they're selling more tickets. And so my point, it's not necessarily bad. Even if he was doing that, I get it.
Yeah.
Cause he really is trying to get the athletes more money. Like as more live stream sales are coming in, he's increasing the winnings.
Okay.
Like as that happens.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. But couldn't you see, wouldn't be a crazy thought that he is like, nah, I'm not going to win. It's us two, and I could have a shot at this. Yeah.
I don't think it's a crazy thought at all.
No, because he's not a dummy, and like it be like, yeah, second's respectable, but like if I win every year,
by like a point or something.
Well, and also it's I get like third, fourth, or fifth at World's Strongest Man, but then I win this competition every year.
Yes, yeah. Like the other ones, I'm just not quite in the running, but here I'm 1 point away from winning the whole thing. Yeah, it's whenever
that's my conspiracy theory. But I don't even think it's bad. I'm not even saying that as like a. I mean, I'm just saying that's logical, kind of.
It is, and whenever he steps away in I don't know, whenever that might happen.
Yeah,
5 years, 20 years. I don't know what that is, but
1 year.
Then I guess he can really cut
and
loose
that's why
and go crazy with it.
He can't. He has to do it now because him being in it is a big part of what's
absolutely
growing it.
Yes, he does. Like his name is such a huge draw.
Right,
still.
he needs to, but like at some point in time, no doubt his goal is that he doesn't need to be competing for it to be a draw. But yeah, Z can't be competitive with him now. Looked like Jerry has gone through some stuff, and currently at least he's not competitive in that same way that he used to be. But some of the younger guys very strong in there. So overall, I think it was a good contest.
Yeah, cool.
That was my takeaway from it. I think we should do supporting our supporting members, though.
I agree.
Are you still?
And then this might tie into it, but we did have some some South Dakota connections to the Shaw Classic as well.
That's true. And you are correct. That will tie into it right here. If you're still into supporting our supporting members, if that's still a thing you like to do.
It's a thing I very much like to
do. And for anyone that doesn't know, this is a relatively new segment that we do here on the podcast. And it's our supporting members, those that choose to monetarily support the Massenomics podcast. It's supporting members like you that make this show possible, that can keep us pushing on that run for 10 years. I think we can make it 10 years without ever missing a week. We're at
you're really drawing a line.
Yeah,
there.
I think we're at 6.5.
God.
Don't you think we could make it 10 years?
I mean, why
ever
stop at
missing
this point?
Right.
That would be insane, though, wouldn't it?
What we need to make that happen is a few more supporting members.
Mm-hmm.
I know at last time I checked, I think there was 3 spots left. Yeah. So if 3 of you that have been on the fence, if you could just choose to listen to this and sign up.
3.5 more years of
that we could make it to 10 years of never missing.
That would really
episode.
help. Yeah, that inspire me.
Just all we're not asking for every single one of you to sign up. Just 3 of you. Talk amongst yourselves. Draw straws, whatever it takes. Just 3 of you sign up to become.
That's all we're
members.
asking. 3.
Yes, that's not that much to ask, honestly. But we like to give some love back to these people each week. So first thing on the list, you talked about it. Big Andrew Montoya finished 10th in the Shaw Classic Amateur. They played out the amateur prior to the pro show, and the amateurs were a very strong group of people in there. We were lucky we knew a few people in there. There's a couple South Dakota tie people, one with North Dakota's ties, but Big Andrew Montoya, we've talked about him a few times over the last few weeks. He got 10th.
Yeah, moving some big weight too.
Yes, he is. I think he did 800 for 3 on the deadlift, and I mean, all the stuff is heavy. They did the same stone series that the pros did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
yes.
That's impressive.
Yes, and other South Dakota, Trevor, Big Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what place he got. Then Big Jack from North Dakota was in it too. Another supporting member, Big Austin Turner, competed this last weekend. He finished 8 for 9. PRs on all the lifts, and notably broke the 500-pound deadlift barrier that he's been after.
Nice.
Congrats, Big Austin. Big Ryan Dozer. He competed in his first ever powerlifting meet, and he hit 2 PRs.
Good stuff.
Very good. This one I thought was really, really cool, so big kudos on this one. Big Jeff appeared on local television station WJXT4. It appeared as if he was a speaker on the topic of cost-efficient ways to attend college.
Nice. I didn't know what I saw the screenshot in Discord. I didn't know what the story on it was, but that's really cool.
That's all I'm basing that off of.
Okay. I didn't know if maybe you saw a clip or something.
Nope, I just saw the screenshot. So I should have actually looked it up.
Yeah.
But so check out Big Jeff on WJXT4. Topic: cost-efficient ways to attend college. Congratulations, Big Jeff.
Did you say, I've done this? You just have to go into the military and sacrifice 6 years of your life, and then
yeah, it worked out great for me. Although, just to get political, it sounds like they're going to forgive $10,000 of student loan debt to people.
It does sound like it. Yeah.
Politics, huh?
Yeah.
And was there one? That's all I had on my list. But as we were talking, there was one more thing I was going to bring up from a supporting member, and now I'm forgetting it.
All right. Well, maybe we should pull up the list of all of them. We'll just go through them one by one. I'm sure.
Do we have something for you? Yeah. So thank you, supporting members. That's one of the many perks of becoming a supporting member is you can get on this segment. There's discount codes when you log in there. You get to get in our Discord. You can listen and watch the show early every week. And
you get to join this Discord.
So sign up. Do it.
I just thought of this right now. Do we have like a minute here?
Yeah.
I just thought of this right now because I saw Big Keith mention Repeatonomics. And Repeatonomics is always hitting. You know, they're always firing on all cylinders over there. And there's 2 things, actually. One was the other day, my wife goes, why am I tagged in this? She
yeah.
got tagged in, I can't remember what it was. It was in reference to like a wedding dance or something.
Yeah.
And she got tagged in it and she was so confused. And then I was trying to explain it to her and she's like, nah, I don't need it. Like, she was like, I'm not even going to try and follow here. But okay, so that was funny. But then I think, and I might be getting my stories mixed up here, but someone asked a question about who was the professor, and you go, maybe Repeatonomics can handle this.
Yes.
And his summary was so funny. It was like, the professor was a character that appeared in the early days of Massenomics. He was known for writing long form.
He was a part owner. And,
part owner, known for writing like long form content. And
it was a very accurate.
And it was like, and then he also enjoyed like libertarianism and the Second Amendment. And I'm like, God, it's so funny because it's just so dumb, but actually
kind of accurate.
That is like about as accurate as you can get in a condensed version there.
It's funny. I actually hung out with Professor Shans
You did.
this
I was
weekend.
Ask you about that too.
This weekend, we did a little bit of drinking. Local county fair was going on. I didn't even go to it.
No strongman competition.
No,
though.
I still got multiple questions this year about what time is the strongman show. Haven't done it since 2018. Everyone still wonders like what time.
Never forget.
But Professor Shans, we were sitting around and we actually talked about Repeatonomics even, and he was, because he gets a kick out of it because whenever he gets tagged in it, and I said, yeah, some people think it could even be you, and he's like, no, it's not me. And some people think it could be us, and it's not us either.
It's not us.
No. So we did even talk about Repeatonomics with Professor Shans.
It's very funny. Big Keith also wanted to know who dropped off the cans in my garage. Like 3-4 houses down from me, there are two gym members. Yes.
And I think podcast listeners. So it's the big Winemeisters.
Yes. And they dropped off the can. We did figure it out. You figured out like the day or two later. They sent you a DM asking about it.
Yes.
And then I was, what was I doing? Oh, I was riding my bike the other day. And I saw him outside. And he goes, 2.5. And I said, it wasn't good. Did you try it? And he said, no, he didn't try it. Yeah.
Yes, it was terrible.
Yeah. Mystery was solved though. Came from the neighbors.
Yes. But that was funny. Mm-hmm. Also, a lot of funny talk about how we just randomly open and drink bottles that get left with cryptic notes.
There's a bottle of liquid here, but my name's on it. So I guess I'll drink it.
Before we kick the Discord crew off, I wanted to play something for them.
Please do. You going yet there?
For some reason.
This is the strength.
Oh, there we go. Let me start over.
This is the Strength Company. We've set out to build a better barbell plate on American soil. We ended up here at Wisconsin's legendary Wapaka Foundry. With over 60 years of ironworking experience, the foundry had the knowledge, technology, and processes to build our weights to our exact specifications. The Strength Company plates are slim but rugged, smooth but easy to grip, and electro-coated for durability and to look great in your gym. This is the next generation of American iron. Only available from the Strength Company.
Smooth, but easy to grip.
I also like to picture that segment of people not having the volume on and they're just wondering why we're just sitting there looking around and not talking at all.
Yeah, what are they doing for this minute? Go buy some Strength Co plates. We use them every day.
They're the best.
They are the best. But, Big Alex comes into the gym. He goes, the go-to plates. He's like, these are nice. Goes in.
Was that his first time seeing them?
I think it was. And just the way that they look.
Just see that reaction. It's got to be childlike wonder.
Yeah, the full sets on the double racks
It's pretty
it
impressive.
really pops on the go-to plates when you look at it like that.
There's no mistaking where you're at when you see that.
No. Now should we kick off the Discord crew?
Let's do it. All right.
Should we get our guest on the horn?
Mm-hmm.
If I can figure out how to run this thing.
Dialed up over there.
Cranking the crank.
The hand cranking the crank.
Laura, is that you? Oop.
Oh, Might not have her here.
Start over and try again.
The first one was prank call.
Sometimes I think what happens is people use headphones and different things, and then they it doesn't work like what you were, like how it should for some reason when it's like this.
Or there's like a delay or something.
Should we try it again?
Yeah.
All right. She's there. Just got to get the audio down. Laura, can you hear us?
We can just barely
We
hear
can tell
ya.
you're there. We can't hear anything, though. Oh,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah.
Now we can.
Oh, okay. I don't know why it was doing that. I was like, don't tell me. I have to hold my phone the whole time.
No, it's coming in. It's coming in perfect now. Yeah, we don't need you getting a bicep cramp on us.
Right.
No, we're excited to get you on the Massenomics podcast. I'm Tanner.
And I'm Tommy.
Nice to meet you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you were. What were you just on recently? Was it either Table Talk or the Westside Barbell podcast? One or the other.
The Westside Barbell.
Okay.
One.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you been on Dave before too? On Table
I
Talk?
haven't. He's asked me to. We haven't really coordinated that, but yeah, I've been doing since Louis passed away. Kind of working with Tom pretty closely on some stuff, and I was just up there again to do another podcast and some demo videos. So I've just been kind of busy doing my own stuff and some stuff for Westside right now.
So do you live in Ohio still then, obviously?
Yeah, I live in Cincinnati, so it's not far. It's like a little less than an hour and a half to get up there to Westside to Columbus.
So even since you got out of powerlifting, have you stayed you made frequent trips to Westside and stayed pretty close to the whole thing?
Yeah, definitely. Like not as much as obviously when I was training up there, but Louis and Doris and I would meet like halfway, like in Wilmington, to have breakfast sometimes or lunch just to catch up on stuff. Because for a while, we were teaching the CrossFit powerlifting course for Louis, because he originally was hired to do that and then didn't want to travel. So taught the CrossFit powerlifting course for several years, and then kind of have branched off on my own to do my own like smaller clinics. So, but we've always kept in touch, and I still talk to Doris all the time and see her as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. And you're touching on several things that we have that we want to talk about. The CrossFit powerlifting course, one of them, obviously training at Westside, Louis, everything there. But actually, before we get into it too much, we should probably, I don't know, how do you summarize your accomplishments in powerlifting? Because there's a whole bunch of them. So like if someone asks you, and you know that they're kind of into lifting and kind of get it, what do you tell them?
I mean, I competed for 10 years. I started in 2015, and my last competition was almost exactly 8 years ago, at the end of 2014. And I kind of started off like pretty quickly. Like I did my first meet in June of 2005, and then I did the WPO, which was back at that time in 2005. The WPO was like the pinnacle of powerlifting. Like, most people competed equipped. So, I started powerlifting. I got immediately into like squat suits and bench shirts and everything, because that was
what
everyone did. That's what everybody did. So that's what I did. And then so June was my first meet, and by September I had kind of forced my way into the WPO and the semifinals, and showed the women were only guest lifters at the time, and they would only have like 4 or 5 women to compete. So I wasn't really competing against anybody, but my numbers still would count, like as far as record books would go. And so I had my first all-time world record in that September. So 2 months later in September, I squatted. The world record at the time was 6'11", and I squatted 683 at that meet, and got the all-time total record. I can't remember exactly what the total was, but I got the squat record and the total record. And then, from there, over the course of the next, 10 years or so, managed to, break 45 records. Sometimes they were my own, breaking them, but 45 world records. And then I had held 9 at one time. And, over the years, of the last 8 years or so, they've kind of dwindled down to a little bit here and there. So now I still hold 5. But yeah, at one time I had 4 all-time world records in 4 different weight classes at one time. And, in the bench press, and I had the squat world record in 2 weight classes, the total world record in a couple weight classes. So over like 4 different weight classes throughout those 10 years.
So you started breaking world records like immediately and didn't stop basically for 10 years.
Right. It was, I look back at it now and just think like, that was crazy how quickly it happened. But it's just something that I found that I really like. I had a background in bodybuilding. I did competitive bodybuilding for a couple of years, so I had like a somewhat of a foundation. But I really, even in my bodybuilding training, didn't do a lot of heavy squatting, especially. I did heavy bench press and would do deadlift for reps, but I really didn't have much experience in the squat, which is funny considering that was my first all-time world record. But it just kind of came natural. And I think part of that is my background in gymnastics growing up, and having the flexibility, because in equipped lifting, everything's wide stance. Like that's the way you're going to get the most out of the equipment. So to me, that just felt natural, was to be in a wide stance and to have the mobility to do that. And not to mention like just growing up doing gymnastics, even though I didn't lift weights, but doing gymnastics gave me a lot of like body awareness and the tendon strength that it kind of takes. It was kind of like the perfect storm to set me up for powerlifting.
Yeah, and like to not beat around the bush, a lot of people would say you're the best female powerlifter of all time. Would you agree with that, or do you not like to say it like that?
Right. I mean, I guess that's arguable because now raw lifting is such a huge part of powerlifting. So so people could argue that. They could say, like, well, I don't know, because it's kind of like 2 separate sports almost, so, and I guess if you took equipped powerlifting as one separate sport, then you could say that, because over all the different formulas that they, Gloss Brenner and Dots and everything, I have the number one by formula, so I mean, I guess you could say it in that aspect for sure.
Yeah, probably. We've talked to Ed Cohn and people like that and some others, and nobody really,
I know, it's like, I guess
yeah.
you could say that.
Yeah.
It's weird to be like,
right.
right.
Well, and it is different, particularly in a sport where there's a lot of weight classes. I guess it's different in like your case, and Ed's. That's part of, though, probably what puts you in that category is that you're so successful across so many different weight classes and for a long period of time. Because if someone came in and say set the highest Dots, Wilkes, Glossbrenner, whatever formula, and had like 2 meets, even though they had the highest, you're probably
end in one class.
Right. It's different than when you've done a bunch of classes for a bunch of years and longevity and all that.
Yeah, I remembered like when I first got into powerlifting, reading one of the Powerlifting USA's, like one of the articles that Louis wrote, and I remember him talking about kind of flash in the pan lifter, the brightest stars burn out the fastest, and it just always stuck with me. I mean, I had no desire to stop powerlifting or anything like that. I loved it. I totally fell in love with it, but I was just like, I'm not going to be that person, that just kind of does like comes onto the scene really quickly and then just fades out really fast.
Well, so did you say your last meet was 2014?
Yeah.
So since then, have you ever considered have you ever had desire to compete again? Because, you were pretty young for your last meet, you could, there's a lot of people that are continuing to powerlift beyond, because were you in your early 30s or something at that point?
I was, so that was 34. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I could have easily kept going. I just became really tired as far as like, just physically, emotionally tired, of just kind of being at that, just kind of keeping myself at that level of like competitiveness and training and whatnot, because I had become more busy at that time with traveling to teach the seminars and coaching in person and remotely. I kind of started that in 2013. So I became more busy with that. And then we had more and more powerlifters joining the gym, and more powerlifters, especially female powerlifters, coming in and joining my own training group. And I just, kind of found myself more invested in what they were doing. And, so it just kind of felt like the right time to at least take a break. So that was my intention, was to take a break. And that break just got longer and longer. And next thing you know, I was just like, I didn't have that. And I just wasn't finding that fire to get back into meet prep mode, and into that mindset. I just was like, I was more interested in like, how I could, build other people.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you ever, like if you ever got the itch, would you ever consider lifting raw? Like, did that ever intrigue you as it became more, kind of about the time you stopped, I'd say around like 2015 and 2016,
that's when it really
started to shift where it became more popular, like coincidentally, almost like right around that time. Like, has that ever intrigued you that you're like, oh, I wonder how I would have done there or how I could do there?
I almost think that like having done equip lifting for 10 years, like I would have had to like, I don't know that it would have been a hard transition. Although, I mean, with, my background in conjugate, I like squat would have been the hardest because, most of the time, no matter what, if it was dynamic effort or max effort, I was at least wearing a pair of squat briefs and, training out wide, all the things that are completely opposite of raw training or lifting, but most of the time when I was doing my bench press training, it was raw. Like I only really got into a bench press shirt once in a while, but most of the time, like max effort and dynamic effort was all done raw. So that would have been, at one point, I actually did think about doing at least a raw bench meet because I like in my training, I was doing a lot of like rep work and whatnot. And at the time, like I think the world record for the 165 weight class for the raw bench press, I think was 314. And I had done 320 for like 2 or 3 reps.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I really want to do that. But at the time I was just kind of worried about losing my sponsorship with Inzer. Because they were, there really wasn't like a whole lot of people that would dabble in both or anything like that,
Well, Inzer probably wasn't like, yeah, go raw lifting, like
right.
Go do that, so we can
You
like,
don't need a bench
not
shirt.
sell our bench shirts.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It was really touchy, and I was just like, it's not worth it to me. But I do always wonder, like that would have been cool to see, what I could have done because I did so much like heavy raw bench work and deadlift. I mean, I did a lot of like conventional raw deadlifting and not a whole lot of what if I did pull sumo in training, it was with at least a pair of briefs just to kind of save my hips a little bit. But yeah, I do kind of wonder that, but I like I said, I do kind of think like it would have almost had to have been in reverse order. Like, I would have had to like kind of start with raw lifting, or at least have taken a really long time. And, I don't know if I would have had the patience to do all that. And, really like the knowledge at that time, like when I was getting out of like in 2014 to 2016, I don't feel like I would have had the knowledge that I have now. Like, if I were to kind of switch over to raw lifting, I've kind of like experimented with my own athletes and stuff over the years to kind of like figure out like the best way to do conjugate with raw lifters. I'm still, still kind of working with that. And it kind of, it kind of varies by person.
Yeah, that makes sense. We've talked about Westside versus the world with a number of people over the years, and you're obviously featured in there quite a bit. And I'm guessing you've seen it. I would.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Because you could find the person out there that's like, I didn't watch that shit. I was in it. That's enough for me. Like I'm sure there's a few people like that, but so
I bet Louis hasn't even watched it.
Right. Like, yeah, he probably never watched it. I would not be, I'd almost be more surprised if he did watch, if he had watched it. But, like from your take on that at living Westside and knowing all that stuff, like, anything in the movie, everything was right, or any big thing that was missed, or you felt like it was a pretty accurate picture of what it was like around there?
I mean, I think it's pretty accurate. I definitely, I wasn't, there during the times like when
Right.
when like Matt Dimmel was there and whatnot. I came in after that, but later into the film when like Greg Panora, all those guys, that's when I was there. And so it's definitely accurate. I think a lot of people, the feedback that I got from people after it was over was that they were kind of bummed that the women weren't featured more, like because there were more women that trained there over the years, and I think they kind of honed in on Amy and me, and where they could have, like, really honestly, what women of Westside, and I think they said it briefly in the show, was that like the women of Westside really, as far as world records and whatnot, like kind of were just as successful, if not more successful than
Right.
the men over the years. So they really could have like done a much bigger segment on the women for sure.
Yeah. What was it like as a woman there? I mean, I know there's obviously many of you training there. Did you get from Louis or anyone else? Did you get treated any differently, or was it no different than if Greg Panor walked in the building and was training there? Were the women treated exactly like the men?
In a way, yeah, but nicer, I guess I should say. Like,
Okay.
like a lot of like the crazy stories you would hear or whatever. Like, I never experienced that. It was always nothing but good. Like, I've never had, nothing but help, and people that were positive and like supportive, and so people ask that a lot. They're like, they're kind of like waiting for some juicy stories or whatever. I'm like, actually, it was really good for me, at least. I had so much support, and Louis was always really great to me. And, so I mean, I had a really, really great experience. I never really, got to see anything, wild and crazy, but like I said, I came in at a different time.
Right.
It was definitely a different time. That's when like, people started coming along that were, people that were college educated and, and had careers and stuff like that, so it was a different kind of group that was kind of a transition period for sure.
It wasn't like that long ago when you were, I think, people get a picture of Westside Barbell in their head of, how it is like, I don't know, like a thug mentality almost.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Well, like the
I mean,
legend
it
of those
sounds
early
like
days.
it.
Right.
Right. I listen to these podcasts, like the ones that are coming out with, they're kind of going in chronological order a little bit. So if you've listened to any of the more recent ones, prior to the one that I was just on, it's crazy to hear those stories. It's just like, man, that was really a different time,
Yeah. So you were talking about like you're kind of working closely or working with them now at Westside Barbell. What I don't know how to say it, but what do you, because Westside Barbell means a couple things. It is a gym, of course, in Columbus, but like, I don't know, Westside Barbell's a little bit bigger than that. It's not just a gym because of what Louis kind of made it over the years. It's, people think of it as a training method and just like many things in the
almost
power
equipment manufacturing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like an idea factory or, like a training methodology factory and all this. Like, what is the future like for Westside Barbell without Louis there? How is it different? Or maybe it is no different. We obviously don't know.
Well, I think that like it's going to continue in so many ways. Like not much will be different because he kind of set it up to be exactly what he wanted it to be, which was just education, So he had done he's so well read. He's done all the research and all the experimentation to kind of create this thing. He's got the certification and all of the books that he's written, so he kind of laid it out for people to kind of carry that on. So that's kind of what was important to him, was for people to carry it on as far as educating other people. I mean, when he passed away, like there weren't a ton of people as far as like lifters at the gym. There's a handful that are still training there. But he had just kind of like gotten to a point where it was more about educating people, via this, the certificates, and his books and seminars. He is like I said, I've just started doing like demo videos for them, like just more modern ways that that people are educating. He doesn't even know, doesn't have a smartphone. He didn't have like access to Instagram and stuff like that. He just kind of put the right people in place to take care of that for him, and kind of keep up with the times and how they can keep educating the world about the conjugate methodology. So that'll keep continuing, and they've kind of set up the gym a little bit in the last few months to do that. Like, so they're kind of inviting people in to learn. They're going to start having seminars there, anything they can to kind of keep that education alive.
Yeah, that's
If
cool.
anything, it's
Yeah.
it's the best it's ever been, really. I mean, they sell so many books and so, obviously so many t-shirts and apparel and stuff like that. It's so recognizable. But yeah, they're still doing podcasts, everything like that.
Yep. Right. No, and that's what it seemed like so far, obviously, with the podcast getting pumped out and everything else. And it's still it's a destination that a lot of people want. It's kind of like a bucket. If you've been a serious power lifter for a long time, it's almost like a bucket list to say that you've even, walked through the doors before, I would say.
Right. And that'll still be open. They still, welcome visitors to me, it seems more like a museum now. Like
Right.
it's just going to kind of like be preserved the way it is, for people to still be able to experience.
Yep. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
What, with you not competing, obviously you're still, I don't know if you use the word training when you're not training for a meet, but you're obviously still, in the gym and doing a bunch of stuff. What is your kind of training look like now that you not powerlifting, but you're still doing something? So what would you do? How would you describe your training now?
It's a little bit weird because for upper body, I do everything like the stuff that I program for, because I have like a base program that like all the lifters at the gym follow, like with some variation, with each person. But I follow it to a T. Like I do all the max out. Today I did max effort upper. I did everything on the program. Saturday I'll do dynamic effort upper. I'll do everything on the program. Lower body is a little different because I don't know. That's the only thing. Like I never really had an injury. I never broke a bone or never tore anything and had to get surgery. So I'm really thankful for that. But I'm 42 now, so I have aches and pains and whatnot. And for the most part, it's in my lower body, like nothing bad, but like nothing that keeps me from, but I'm just not, I just don't push it as hard with my lower body stuff. I still do a lot of box squats. It's more just functional now. I do a lot of box squats and all the accessory work, inverse curl, glute ham raises, reverse hypers, belt squat work. But it's more about like just, being more functional. I do a lot of, I've gotten more into prior to even bodybuilding or anything like that. When I was in college, I did a lot of running. Not good at it. I'm not like built to run or anything like that, but I enjoy it. Like just the mental aspect of it. And it's just peaceful to me. And it's like, I'm around people all the time, like, personal training and coaching with powerlifting and stuff. So sometimes like when I go run, I'm just literally by myself and can just zone out. So I do a lot of that, which, also I know that like takes a toll on my lower body too. So as far as my lifting goes, it's kind of altered. It's kind of built around that, staying healthy and, focusing on posterior chain. That's kind of always been my thing, is focusing on posterior chain. So that's kind of what my training looks like now, but I do a lot more conditioning and cardio, obviously, than I ever did when I was powerlifting. I've done a lot of CrossFit workouts and, still do those a few days a week. But I have a much bigger emphasis on conditioning and cardio now than I ever did before. Just, because I try, to me, it's more about like health and longevity at this point than it is about like anything else. So, I mean, although longevity, like maximal strength is important for longevity. So I don't want to lose that aspect either.
Are you still pretty strong?
I mean, yeah, but not nearly as strong, not nearly as strong as I was before. And I think part of that is just like letting go of that mentality. Like it's like like deadlifting 400 pounds is just not important to me. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I think if I was like, I want to deadlift 400 pounds and I totally changed everything about my lifestyle and my training, then I think, I could get back to that, but it's not important to me right now. So like, deadlifting 300 is fine for me. That's totally fine.
What was that hard for you to make that like, obviously now it sounds like it's not hard, but like, was there a point in time where that was tough, where it's like, oh, I'm feeling healthier, but it really sucks that I don't still bench 315,
Right. I've had people ask me that, like, that were like thinking about retiring from powerlifting. Like, how did you do it? Like, you can tell they're struggling with like pulling the trigger because, they're just going to miss it so much. And I don't even know what to say, because I'm literally like, I never felt that. Like, it was fine for me. Like, I was just like, I did everything I wanted to do. I mean, there's always going to be more that I, could say I wish I would have done, but I felt satisfied with what I had done. And powerlifting was kind of it was at that point where it was starting to take a different direction. And I was like, this is a good time for me this is like the perfect time for me to bow out, rather than I didn't want, my last meet actually it was not a good meet for me. Like, so it's not like I ended on a great meet. It was not a good meet for me, but it was, and I had bad meets before. I tell people all the time, like, people see, like, I post a highlight reel and it looks all like super successful career. And I'm like, I bombed out more times than I can even count.
Yeah.
Like, there were plenty of meets that I did not do well, but, this one, for some reason, like, felt different. It was just like, I don't want to be that person that just like gets out of powerlifting after like a few years of just going downhill. I did not want that to be me. I was like, I just felt different. It just felt like I should probably like stop while I'm ahead, and while things are good. And because to me at that point, like, I never imagined prior, like in my earlier years of powerlifting, that powerlifting would somehow translate to a career. Like, I was a personal trainer at the time, but I didn't think that anything more could come of it. And at that time in 2014, like, more was coming from it, like coaching other powerlifters and doing remote training and stuff like that. And I just was like, I was like, I need to kind of go out on top to be able to help my career as well,
Yeah, totally makes sense. We've got this little game we play with every guest that we have on called Overrated, Underrated, and we have a special Laura Phelps set of overrated, underrated topics. So it's your job just to decide if each one's overrated, underrated. You can elaborate on it as much or as little as you want to, but you just have to remember that you can't ride the line. You have to decide one or the other at the end of it.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Everyone thinks it's going to be controversial, but it's
Yeah.
it never is. So. Okay.
Okay.
All right. First one, over or under the reverse hyper?
Underrated. For sure. It's hands down one of the best pieces of equipment. I mean, that I would like, it's like a must in any gym that I would have or suggest to people.
So are you still a regular user of the reverse hyper?
All the time. Yep. Definitely. Whether it's to warm up or like heavier for like strength building. I do a lot of different variations on it. And it's not just, always just a standard like swing through reverse hyper. We'll do strict reverse hypers, bent knee reverse hypers, single leg reverse hypers, partial reps, so many different things, so it doesn't only have to be used in one way. It has a lot of different benefits for sure. But as far as like what it was actually made for originally, which was for back rehab, I mean, it's incredible. And part of that too is like knowing how to do it correctly. Cause I've had people be like, well, it hurts when I do it. It's like, well, you can usually pinpoint how they're doing it wrong, like how they're, just kind of letting go at the bottom and, not controlling that swing through, or letting it swing through too much, using too much momentum, not, hanging their hips off of down too low and not being up on top of that pad high enough, not flexing their abs at the top. There's a whole lot of things that you can do wrong with that for someone to say like, well, I don't think it really works.
Okay. So
but I haven't really had many people say that. So
yeah. So if you could only, for a posterior chain piece of equipment, if you could only have either you could only pick one, a reverse hyper or a GHD, GHR. It sounds like you would pick the reverse hyper, or what would you do?
that is really tough because they're so different.
Yeah.
They're so different, but equally important. Like, if, I think if I had like a garage and I can only have a few things, it would be a safety squat bar and a straight bar, a power rack, a reverse hyper, a GHD, a sled. Like, and some dumbbells,
Yeah.
So that would be a tough call if I had to pick one or another, because the GHD, you can do a lot of different things with it. Like whether it's, not just a glute ham raise, you can do sit-ups with it. You can do back extensions, all different variations of a back extension, oblique crunches, so many different things in the GHD. So it's like, ooh, that would be hard. I mean, you can, like, when people don't have a reverse hyper and they have a GHD, we can kind of rig up like a makeshift reverse hyper, but there's really nothing that you can do to makeshift or jerry rig to simulate the pendulum on a reverse hyper, the traction effect from it.
Right. And you kind of answered this question, but this is a very important question on our podcast. And you said it a few times. This is something we've asked many people and we've talked about many times, as the piece of equipment that you do glute ham raises on, you call it a GHD.
Yeah. Well,
some people call it, what is it? Is it a GHD or a GHR? Well, because we've gone back and forth with many people on that before.
I think, I don't know if I say GHD because of my like extensive background in CrossFit too.
Right.
They always call it GHD, so I just always think of it as a glute ham developer. GHR, I mean, glute ham raise, that to me, GHR is like, to me, stands for glute ham raise. Like that means like one specific exercise.
Okay.
Where the GHD is a glute ham developer, that to me represents the machine itself, the piece of equipment itself.
Well, that's the logic that most people tell us, and it totally makes sense. But for some reason, we were always around people that would call it a GHR, so we always go back and call it a GHR.
Well, and it depends. Like a lot of people will say, yeah, that is a CrossFit thing, calling it the GHD. It is. I always like. There's a few points of reference for the GHR, and we know that this is kind of a silly conversation, but that's what we like to do. And if you go to Elite FTS, everyone on their website is called a GHR. But if you go to Rogue Fitness, everyone on their website, the piece of equipment is called a GHD. So
right.
It's kind of funny.
No closure.
That is, I know. I mean, GHR sounds to me like it's a glute ham raise. That's the exercise. That's not the piece of equipment,
The counterpoint to that is a lat pull down. Someone would say a lat pull down is what is the exercise.
Is the exercise, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
What's that damn machine called?
Well, then, what would you?
Right.
Right.
That's a good point. A good point.
I guess the mystery continues.
We'll never
on
know.
this one.
We'll have to ask several more people to get to the bottom of it. Then, so you didn't really solve it for us today, I guess.
No, I'm going with GHD though.
Okay, on the record. All right. Okay, right. We talked about this a little bit in some ways, but overrated or underrated CrossFit?
I mean, I'm like kind of in the middle of that, but if I had to pick one, I'd say underrated. I've had a lot of, I've been around it for so long. Like, since the early days, like 2009 is when CrossFit hired Louis to teach a CrossFit powerlifting course. And I remember he asked us to come up there and help him with it. And I was like, I really didn't know anything about CrossFit. It was so like kind of new. And now looking back, it was like that was a test run that they did, and they had all the top CrossFitters at the time, including Katie Henniger, who's the owner of Rogue. She had just won the CrossFit Games, and she was there to try out the seminar. And so I've just been around it for so long, and then was a part owner of a CrossFit gym, and so in doing CrossFit myself, for many years after I did powerlifting. I've seen it a lot, and I've seen what it does for people. I've seen how it's brought a lot of people to powerlifting. I've watched it firsthand watch people join the CrossFit gym, find out that they love doing strength stuff and not so much doing the WODs. And so they end up like gravitating towards powerlifting. So it's brought a lot of people to powerlifting. So for that, I'm grateful. And it's also kind of made strength cool, you know, even to women, especially like that would,
Right.
you know, join and, you know, they get their great cardio workout, but next thing you know, like, cause our CrossFit gym is very conjugate based. It's literally called CrossFit Conjugate. And, we would do everything sort of like the whole conjugate template in a week. So you have all of your normal members, not competitive CrossFitters, that were coming in and doing max effort lower on Monday. And that could be a deadlift with chains or something, you know, stuff that they would never dream that they would ever do, but then ended up falling in love with it. And they're tracking their PRs and they're getting really into, you know, being strong. So it's just done a lot, I think, for the strength community in a different kind of way. And so, and it's really just stuck around. It's really not lost any momentum. I think it's, you know, still just as popular as it was, you know, 5-10 years ago. So I if I had to pick one, I'd say underrated. You know, it's not for me, but like it's still pretty awesome. And it really is a test of, it's essentially, Louis always called it like, that's like conjugate, like they're just doing everything,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
It's
I mean, it's literally,
yeah. Right.
they're
It's conjugate
literally
to the
doing,
max, kind of.
right, it's GPP to the max.
Yeah.
So so for that, I think it's pretty cool, and it's, you know, made people do things that they probably never would have been exposed to.
I think that's true. And like on the point of the women's side of it, even in particular, like it's gotten a lot of women like super strong.
Yeah, some
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
athletes that came out of that.
Like the I think
So
it was
crazy.
the CrossFit Games here not too long ago. Like the event I kept seeing was the sandbag to shoulder and
250.
yeah, 250 pound
pounds.
sandbag, and we've got a bunch of guys at the gym that are, you know, relatively strong that like aren't just casually going to shoulder a 250
And
pound
it's not like
sandbag.
that was
I
the
know.
one event they did and that was it. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
No, it is unbelievable the amount of volume that they do. And I was there because I do, a woman that I train with that literally like we do, I would always do like my CrossFit workouts with her. I mean, she's a good friend of mine. She's 66 and she qualified for the CrossFit Games. So I came out there to coach her. And she ended up placing second. There's like the highest age category goes 65 plus. So she was in 65 plus category. And, you know, so I'm with this group of, at that point, once you make it to the games in your age category, there's only 10. So it starts with the open and there's thousands of people. And then there's two other stages. You know, there's like the semifinal or quarterfinals and the semifinals. And then from there, they weed it down to 10 people in the world. And so, you know, she was one of 10. They qualified in the 65 plus. And, you know, I'm there and I'm just like the whole week with this group of men and women that are in the higher age categories and just watching these women. There was a woman that was 72 years old and they are climbing 20-foot ropes, doing handstand push-ups, doing pool sprints and jumping out and getting on the ski erg. Just an unbelievable amount of stuff for anyone, much less someone over 65.
Yeah, that kind of makes me feel like a real piece of shit.
Oh my God. It was unbelievable. Yeah. I'm just like, these are grandmas. Like there were women walking around, their grandkids are coming up and hugging them. And I'm just like, this is crazy. I mean, when growing up, my grandparents were not doing that, you know, right. So it's pretty cool. So for that aspect too, that's pretty amazing. Like how cool is that? How much is that going to change those grandkids' lives to see their grandma or grandpa do it, you know, like I said, climbing a 20-foot rope or getting into a handstand and doing handstand push-ups and doing all these crazy events. It's like, I mean, that's life-changing. That'll totally change their aspect, their outlook on what they can do in the future.
Yeah, it makes you be like, well, 60, I guess, isn't old, or 70 isn't old.
Right,
you know, like,
right.
Yeah,
no, not at all.
Yeah. All right, good answer. Overrated or underrated Michael Phelps?
Underrated, I would say that too. I mean, he's the best. He's the greatest of all time, and there's just no I mean, his accomplishments, I don't know how anybody could say overrated, because I mean, they're undisputable. They're like, it's not like an opinion that he was great. He literally like proved that he was the best of all time.
Yeah. Can't argue with medals, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, no matter what you think of him as, I don't know if there's any, I really haven't kept up with him as a person, like after his career or anything. So I don't know if like,
I think
if that's like a controversial thing, or.
I think there's a picture of him with a bong.
I think he smoked pot once, so that's pretty terrible.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
Throw those records away.
Like, definitely not going to judge him on that.
No, none of us are.
Right.
But not a long lost cousin.
No, and people ask that a lot. And whenever I have to spell my
Not the
name,
same
because like
gene
if
pool.
you say it over the phone, right? If I have to say it, if I just like speak it into the like a phone or something like that, people for some reason cannot like understand what I'm saying. And I'm like Michael Phelps, like, and then they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I always say that.
Okay. All right. This is the last one, and it's kind of the most important one usually. So your performance on this one determines your performance on the entire show today. A lot riding on this.
Right.
Overrated or underrated Bob Evans?
Overrated. Yeah.
I have to say,
I actually, no, I mean, it's just not my favorite. Like, I hate saying that because, that was like one of Louis' favorite restaurants, and that's where he would meet every morning for breakfast. And so, I mean, I ate there plenty of times, and I actually worked there in college. I went to Ohio State, and I worked at Bob Evans, and actually I waited on Bob before he died. He was one of my tables, so I met him. Like, I have a lot of experience at Bob Evans. I mean, I worked there,
Bob.
and I made.
That's like the full,
I met Bob.
Wow.
I met Bob.
He'd be rolling over in his grave if he knew you were saying overrated.
I know. It's just
my former employee.
Food. Right. Like, sorry. I mean, it was great. It got me plenty of spending money through college, but as far as like their food, I mean, their banana bread is the best. But other than that, like, I love food. I love eating. Like, my family, it's all food. My mom had a bakery. My uncle has a restaurant. It's definitely, we're all about food, and my mom is a great cook. So it's hard for me to be like, oh, Bob Evans is so good, because I'm like, it's not. Like, it's just, it's not.
Well, that's fair. And one bonus topic, since you said Ohio State, overrated or underrated, is it the Horseshoe? Is that where they play football?
That's where they play. Yeah.
So I assume you've probably been there before. So overrated or underrated?
Oh my gosh, yeah, totally underrated. It's incredible. It's way too expensive to try to attend a game, but it's definitely underrated. It's awesome. I mean, just to be in there, with that many 100 and some thousand people. I mean, I try to get to a game every year. I didn't make one last year, but my husband and I try to go every year. I'm definitely a proud alumni.
Well, an annoying Ohio State Buckeye fan, probably.
That's okay.
Yeah. We can say that because we're from South Dakota, and we don't have
any dog in the fight.
Yeah, we don't have teams on that level. So we usually have to.
I thought you were gonna say you're from Michigan.
No, that's what I wanted to clarify. Yeah. We're not like
the closest
not
it gets here
Michigan.
is like some Nebraska fans,
right?
Or,
yeah, there's a lot of Husker
Minnesota,
fans.
Maybe.
Yeah, we're not from Alabama or something like that either. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good news. It looks like you passed overrated, underrated. So
good.
Congratulations.
Good. I'm glad I got one underrated or overrated thing in there. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to come across 100% on all the same side. Then it's
no. Because then I
balance.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we really appreciate that. We're glad to have you on. I guess is there anything? It looked like maybe you were running like a bigger women's power. We'd seen something just recently about you setting up a bigger women's powerlifting meet, but anything like that, or I don't know, coaching or anything like that people should know about.
Yeah, we are hosting the women's pro. This will be my 11th year hosting it, and I know it's not like that's another thing that's changed over time. In my experience, I've run a lot of meets. I run other meets throughout the year, but the women's pro-am is kind of the biggest meet that I host every year. And so like I said, I've been doing it for, this actually, we missed a year because of COVID. So this would have been the 12th year coming up. But it's grown, to me, it's like huge, but I know that like there's so many enormous raw powerlifting meets now that are like so high profile. But to me, like it's really important to me, and to the people that attend, that come each year. It's just such an experience. Like, I can't even describe it. Like it's incredible. Like with it being all women, and we have an amateur day. There's, usually 70 lifters, and then a pro day, and we usually have 40 to 50 lifters on pro day. So just to me, it's just a sign of progress. Like that we are at a place that we can have competition where there's 110 to 120 women. When I remember when I would compete in meets, and I was most of the time I was the only female competing at a meet, or maybe there was a couple other, so I have been around long enough to know what it was like prior to that. So so that's why this is so special to me, is because it's just like I said, it's just like, it shows the progress that we've made with women's powerlifting, to be able to do that and to be able to create an atmosphere that it's so intense in that room during that meet. Like the women are just so, the camaraderie is unreal. Like they're screaming for each other. They're, it's pretty awesome. So I know, like I said, I know it's not like a big high profile. We are like giving a lot of prize money. And it grows every year. So it's pretty cool. We got a new venue this year, so it's bigger. And, so each year we get bigger and better in some way. Most of the time it's more prize money, or, we had a really awesome live stream last year. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So I have that coming up, and that's in April. Registration for that will open up in November for that. So people kind of always like count down, like they have a countdown to registration because it sells out really quick.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. But other than that, I do coaching. I have a subscription on Train Heroic. It's Team QBP, like Queen Bee Power. So Team QBP on Train Heroic. And then I also do a lot of like individual remote coaching as well for people that are, getting into a meet or something like that. But a lot of my stuff is conjugate based, but a little bit more modern conjugate. I guess you should say. So I can, because I've had to, like, with the change in the times of powerlifting and having raw powerlifting, it's taken me a while to kind of to blend that, because it is different, like what Louis had kind of figured out for equipped powerlifting is, we've had to kind of like, adjust it a little bit, but stay within the parameters of conjugate. That's important to me.
Right.
So yeah, I work with a lot of raw lifters and equipped lifters, men, women. For some reason, I think because the women's pro-am, and just being that I was a female powerlifter, I definitely have a much bigger percentage of female powerlifters that I coach. I love coaching female powerlifters.
All right. Good stuff. Well, we really appreciate it. We're glad to get you on. You've been on our list for a long time. So this is really cool.
Appreciate it. I was excited when you guys contacted me. I was like, oh, this is fun.
Well, you don't have to lie like that. But
I'm serious. I was like,
oh,
I was honored. No way.
On a Wednesday night, really?
I'd love to stay up 2 hours past my bedtime. Yeah, we always catch the people on Eastern time zone. They're like, I guess we'll do it. Yeah.
Or I'll stay up and sleep in tomorrow.
All right. No, this is great. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Laura.
Thank you so much.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.
Cool beans.
Of course, you got the cool beans.
You gave her the double cool beans and shit. Not just one serving, but
double
2.
Double trouble.
Speaking of equipped powerlifters, wanted to tell you about a little friend of mine, SPUD. Do you remember SPUD from SPUD Inc.?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah. So SPUD Inc., spud-inc-straps.com. And I want to tell you about their all-new pillow belt squat belt.
I actually just saw this recently.
Yeah, they might have seen, if you're on their email subscription list, you might have seen it, or even maybe within the Discord, I think there was something shared on it. But the pillow belt squat belt is a multi-size adjustment belt squat belt. I read that right. Yeah. It's a multi-size adjustment belt, squat belt, made for the comfort level of any lifter, from the complete novice to the seasoned old school lifter, with what we would say almost no discomfort level while training. And that's important if you want to have, because we've used makeshift squat belts before that are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you do not have that with the pillow belt squat belt, do you? It works on any type of belt squat apparatus you can think of. The multi-loop system is taken from the Squat Max adjustable hip belt design and blessed by Brian Hensley, former NFL running back, inventor of the Squat Max MD.
Well, okay, how much more of an endorsement do people need?
That's exactly right.
Come on.
The back pad is made with their soft but super durable SPUD Inc. Kaiju material.
Sounds exotic.
Yeah. So the SPUD Inc. performance level is never compromised, and exactly what you would expect built to last. Check
Built
it out.
to last. I mean, SPUD Inc. That goes without saying.
Yeah, and then of course they've
kind
got
of redundant to say that. But.
Yeah, why even? Like, yeah, you already said it was SPUD Inc. We know that it's built to last. You dummies! Like, quit telling me the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, what are you going to tell me? Their colors are black and yellow next?
We get it. Check them out at SPUD.
What are you going to tell me? Their website, spud-ink-straps.com?
That's exactly right. And they've got a lot of other stuff on, obviously, as you know, they've got.
What are you going to tell me? They got knee sleeves and elbow sleeves? And a rucksack sled of some kind? Is that what you're going to tell me they got?
What are you going to tell me? They got the bow tie?
Yeah, what are you going to tell me? They got bow ties in formal and casual settings in multiple sizes for any lifter?
That is exactly
Is that what you're going to tell me?
Yes.
Okay.
Check them out at spud-ink-straps.com. Oh. We have so many things on our list that we're not going to get to today.
Do. I know. That's what I'm curious what does and doesn't make the cut here, because there's a few things that I want to know about that are written down, and I'm not going to get to find these out.
I think we just have to go into the sack segment.
Okay.
The second part
this
of
has
our
been
camp
hyped up for a while.
Yeah.
So,
and we might not get to anything else besides this, I'm thinking. So we talked about Big Alex. He made his pilgrimage, is what I would call it, to the Mecca, the motherland, Western Northeast South Dakota, to visit Massenomics Gym. He took advantage. Finally, someone taking advantage of that free day pass.
Yeah.
I also, for his troubles, I gave him a calendar. The last 2022 calendar that I had around in my locker.
I didn't know if you were talking about
not the dog calendar.
The dog calendar.
No. Not the 20,
because that's quite the gift.
Would be
to get the Massenomics.
That could auction for hundreds.
The Massenomics topless men calendar.
The Massenomics topless men collaboration with the local
dog shelter
humane society thing. What year was that? Like 2018 or
maybe even around there. Got to be around there. Maybe a little earlier. Maybe 2017. I don't think it was 29. I don't know.
But maybe we did it in 2017 for the, because we would have done it.
Yeah. That's usually how calendars work.
Yeah, usually try to get them out before but I gave Alex a calendar that had about 4 good months left in it. Yeah. So
you're the single sheet tear off ones. Yeah.
And Alex gave us a little something.
All right.
So this isn't a can.
I'm seeing a brown bag here.
Yeah. Yep. I think you're gonna like this.
All right. Okay.
What's your appetite level right now?
I mean, it could be pretty high.
Do you have any idea what's in here?
No clue. Okay. I don't know if it's edible or if it's something memorabilia.
It's edible, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. Little Michael Phelps.
What is it?
That's for you right there. And here's one for me.
Okay. So I have an MRE. So it says menu 19. Is that actually, are they numbered?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have menu 19.
I have menu 19. Mine is the beef patty jalapeno pepper jack.
And mine is menu 2, pizza slice cheese, tranche de pizza fromage.
Yeah. Steak haché.
MRE. Have you ever had it?
I've never had an MRE ever.
I have had a decent number of MREs, but it has been a long while
from since Cincinnati, Ohio. Here, Laura's neck of the woods.
It all comes full circle, doesn't it? She was involved this whole time.
He didn't sell these to you, did he? Because that's unlawful.
Not
right on the package.
Okay. No, I will. Wink, wink. He didn't sell them to me. I have never had this one. This one's new.
Package is telling me that ration heaters are prohibited on commercial airlines.
Oh, yeah.
Can't heat this up on an airline.
And it's funny. Yours is different, actually. Look at your. Like,
yeah,
does
mine
these have a
has
date on them?
like some soldiers like
Right.
sitting around.
Mine feels older. I hope it's not expired. Wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah. Okay. So when was the last time you had an MRE?
Oh, it probably would have been 2012.
So
I
we
think.
just pull this right open.
Yeah,
huh?
just peel it apart. That should pop open if I remember right. And what I'll tell you, I don't think we're going to want to do the heater. I mean, the heater is part of the experience for sure.
I can't
but
even open mine.
I think if you just get a little gap in there, it should kind of peel from the center.
Nope, can't even open it. First
Well,
problem, I'm
Tommy's
starving.
not going to get.
I'm starving. I'm dying of hunger on the battlefield. Open that for me, Tanner.
Maybe
I already
it's
failed.
the different packaging.
I already failed the
Ooh.
first test. Okay, so it's not
I
totally
can't
just
even
me.
help my battle buddy.
I got a knife here too.
Yeah, we might need the knife.
That's rule number 2 of the battlefield: is you bring a knife, right?
Oh, I got
he got it. Okay,
Boy,
that one was really
you gotta
sealed
be a
up.
super soldier to get
I mean,
that
it
thing
is
open.
the beef patty. You don't want any
Yeah.
of the freshness to leak out.
So this
Wow.
is the heater.
Surprising number of
And
packaging.
yeah, for
in here.
anyone that has, there's a lot of
Wow.
parts to an MRE.
This is like an unboxing here. I kind of thought there was going to be like a patty. Was
This
just
is
gonna
the
flop
heater.
out. Oh,
I don't think we'll want to do it
Whoa,
because
okay. I didn't know that was a thing either. I thought,
So what you do, your main course you use in the heater. The main course should be in something, one of these. So it gives you the directions, but you rip off the top, you pop it in there, and then you fill it with water
And
up
then
to right there
and
in
then
between
what's it
those two
do?
lines. It gets super hot.
there's like it has some reaction. Where
Yeah,
it makes heat?
there's like
Oh.
a chemical, but it kind of smells a little bit, so we won't
Okay.
do it in your basement here.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't. It's not awful, but like it's better to be done.
My
outdoors.
wife might wonder what's going
Yeah,
on down
right.
here.
So we're gonna whatever.
Oh, I have
we-
a hot beverage bag too. What's the deal with that?
Well, not everyone has hot beverage, so you must have cocoa. I would assume or something
Oh.
like that, or maybe a coffee.
Oh, damn! There's a cookie in here too. Okay,
But I don't know if you remember what we say about the MREs. The sides are more important than
Yeah.
the main course. So, tell us what all yours is.
yeah.
Actually.
All right. So I'm just taking. All right.
Take full inventory.
So
of what
starting
you got
from the
here.
bottom of the list here, tortillas plain. Okay. Then I have a cardboard sleeve. It looks like the
Yeah, I
R's
never-
for optimal recovery. Okay, with some tips. Replenishing energy. Okay, we'll get to that in a
Yeah.
second.
Ooh.
I have the hot beverage bag. I have oatmeal chocolate chunk cookie. Sounds pretty good. What is this? Au gratin pot. That's probably like gravy or something. I don't know.
Must be.
Then okay, this is my heater bag here. Is that what you said it is?
Yeah, that's the heater.
Okay. And then another sleeve? What's with all these? What are these for? These like cardboard sleeves.
I don't ever remember having one of these. Like mine's a pizza slice, so I assume it's kind of like to set the.
Oh, is it kind of
Pizza
like the pizza
Yeah,
pocket holder?
Right.
Okay. So I have 2 cardboard sleeves. I have cheese spread with bacon. I got a spoon. Oh, just a straight up package of M&Ms?
Yeah, so there you go.
Whoa,
That's
okay,
that's
that's a
key.
thing?
Yeah. So
Whoa.
remember, if you said I told you sometimes they have Skittles and it's like some different things.
Oh,
So,
I just still thought it was
so like
it'd be
now
like an
you can
unbranded
no,
like,
but so what you know now is menu number 19 has the peanut M&Ms, and everyone knows that.
Yeah.
now. And they are like those that want that are like, yes, I want menu number
Well,
19.
okay, and then we have the beef patty jalapeno pepper jack, and then we have a packet of barbecue sauce, fat-free mayonnaise, and then this little thing, which is just
Yeah, this is
full-
all the goodies. You've got
Is
your
this breath
this is
mints?
this is the gum. Do you remember last when we talked about it? I said the common thing around this gum, everyone says it's a laxative gum.
Oh,
I
yes,
looked
you
it
did
up
say
though
that.
after that episode.
It's
I'm like,
not?
is that a laxative gum or not? And they say that is myth busted. It is not a laxative.
Okay,
But you'll have your salts and your peppers and your sugars and
creamer
stuff.
is this just in every single one?
Yeah, I
Just-
think these
okay.
are pretty standard. And there's like a moist towelette in there, which that's
Yeah.
worth his weight in gold.
Yep. Okay.
You
So
want the
what's-
moist towelette.
But creamer, like, is there coffee in some of these things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, it should even be in. It might even be in here. Like,
Really?
what's the brown package here? Or is that the creamer?
I got sugar, 0 calorie sweetener. I can't see the other ones. Yeah, the big brown one's the creamer.
Okay.
All right. So I guess where do I start here? There's so many things.
Well, that's dealer's choice, really. So, and I'll say what I have.
Well, but I kind of feel like mine. Some of these are supposed to go to. Okay, obviously
Yeah.
the M&Ms get saved for last.
I have cashews jalapeno
Well, actually,
flavor.
so you're telling me I get M&Ms and a cookie?
That's a high value menu item.
Okay, yeah.
You know.
All right, so read. Yeah, what do you got here?
So I have cheese pizza with sauce. I've never had this, and it's like feels like a little somewhat mushy rectangle in here. Maybe it's good, but it doesn't seem that good from that part of it. This is what I really like. Would be a coveted item for me is the peanut butter and crackers.
And the cracker is just one. Is it one big
Usually
cracker?
there's two in there. It's like two giant saltines, kind of, is what that should be like. And then this, I remember these.
First
I forgot
Strike
about this until
Nutrition Energy.
First Strike. Yeah, it's like a protein bar, but I'm curious what the actual ingredients like. How much sugar is in it? Whoa. 3 grams of protein in this thing is all.
So it is just energy.
9 grams of fat, 18 sugars.
Okay. Well, it's not really a whole lot of anything.
But I think these are okay from what I remember. And then I said the cheese pizza. And then the cashews, jalapeno flavored cashews. Those are probably good.
Yeah, that can't. I mean,
these aren't bad sides.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the First Strike bar really tasted like. So that's.
Okay.
Oh, and I also have applesauce.
Wow.
Too.
Okay. I have au gratin potatoes. I think we would refer to those as scalp potatoes, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So those got to taste kind of weird when they're cold, right?
And actually, the applesauce is applesauce enhanced with maltodextrin. Which I'm like, maltodextrin.
Okay, I have my beef patty here. So just eat the beef patty plain. Is that the idea? Okay, here's the potatoes. All right, it's making more sense now that I know it's potatoes.
Usually, I wouldn't get too cute with it. Probably, with the mixing and like.
So would you just kind of eat it right out of the package? Is that the idea?
You probably would have heat up the beef patty.
So what cheese spread with bacon? How the hell do you put the spread on the stuff?
You rip open. The top of it like
okay.
this.
The cheese spread's for the potatoes. All right.
Yeah.
So that goes in tortillas. I'm so confused. Doesn't this seem like an odd mix of things?
Yeah. So all your stuff is probably supposed to go. A lot of times people just eat the cheese spread on the tortilla.
Okay.
I think is something like that, or the whatever your bacon spread, the tortilla. Because sometimes you get like a little piece of bread.
Okay, so cheese spread with bacon goes on that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
And then I have barbecue sauce. That's probably for the patty.
The beef patty. Yeah.
And what's the mayonnaise for? The beef patty again?
I guess I don't know what that would really be.
I don't
for,
like
right?
mayonnaise enough that I have. I mean, I like mayonnaise is fine, but I don't know if I like it enough that I need to have it just on a beef patty. Okay,
and then the brown spoon, of course.
Oh, right. Okay, so I'm just, be
careful.
We'll start with
it could
the
be
side.
saucy in there.
Yeah,
too.
so I'll squeeze it down here.
So what are you opening there?
I'm going to start with the potatoes.
Okay.
See what we're working with. Okay, yep, already there's a little sauce.
I'm going to look into this First Strike energy bar.
I got to save my desserts for last because I have a feeling those shouldn't be bad at least.
Yeah, the M&Ms, at least there's not much surprise
shouldn't
there.
be able to mess those up.
I completely forgot about the First Strike energy bar. Some of this isn't going to make for...
It just looks like straight up just a package of cold scalp potatoes.
Yeah. Do you want to try rip off a piece of that? Because I probably might not need to eat the whole thing.
Oh, it's like taffy almost. Yeah. Okay. I'll come back to that. Yeah, these potatoes are totally edible. I could, if these were warm, I'd almost even say they're good.
Yeah.
They're not bad, but
no, they look good visually there too.
Cold potatoes are.
And the First Strike nutritious energy bar is good. Chocolate flavored, and I would eat that.
Okay. So yeah, potatoes are totally fine. I'm not going to eat the whole package, but potatoes are totally fine.
I'm going to check out my cashews that are jalapeno flavored.
I could see how a day of romping through the fields with the guys, sit down with a warm thing of potatoes. Oh, I'd be set there. Okay.
The cashews are good.
Oh yeah, they're cashew. They shouldn't. Nuts shouldn't be bad, right?
No, they're the jalapeno flavoring is good on there.
Oh yeah.
I'd take pleasure in eating that.
Did we stop at the gas station before we got these?
Right.
Oh yeah, that's good. Okay. Well, then I guess my main course is the jalapeno pepper beef patty.
Yeah, I'll try mine is the cheese pizza with sauce. Couldn't they just make it pepperoni pizza? Add a little
give it something
up a little bit.
There is just something about taking a beef patty out of a like the fact
You
that
wanna
beef
smell
patty
that?
doesn't need to be kept cold. I mean, yeah, it has a pizza smell, but
This pizza.
there's something about meat though that doesn't need to be kept chilled. That always is a little suspect, you know.
Yeah. I can already
And it's
tell
not
from
beef
what I remember this pizza thing is. This is the bread. Like when you normally get a piece of bread.
Yeah.
It looks just like this, and it just kind of has like red sauce and some, I don't know.
What do you mean
cheese.
this is the bread?
Well, like sometimes instead of crackers, you get like a bread.
Oh, you do. Okay.
And it's just like this thing right here.
Okay. So yeah, my beef patty is just a rectangular patty. Does that look like something you've ever had before in these?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. It's probably all right, actually.
It's very processed.
Yeah.
You know, like
Like it can exist inside of a
like it's
warm
kind of like
package for
yeah,
years.
like it's like crumbly but kind of dried, but at the same time it's wet. You know, there's a lot of things going.
Weird.
It's going a lot of different directions. Like
The pizza is not bad. I would eat that whole thing.
just
if I was hungry.
flavor wise, it's fine. It's just the texture is what's really
Yeah.
this weird compressed crumbly patty thing. Kind of like I imagine is what dog food is like.
Yeah. See, these are the crackers, just like giant saltines.
Did you want any of this?
No. No. I've had that. It looks like a McRib from McDonald's, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. And I don't like those. Okay, so what do you think you put on the?
I think you use your cheese spread on the tortillas. I mean, it's
here we go. All
whatever
right.
you want.
I'm losing
of course,
track. I'm
but
losing track of my items
That's
here.
what I think I would
Tortillas
do with that particular
plain.
thing.
Okay. And you've been around these a time or two,
Yeah,
so I think you're.
This is a little trip down memory lane, though.
Yeah.
But this is what I would
Okay.
do with the crackers here and the peanut butter.
The
you know?
tortillas seem as much like tortillas as they possibly could. Like I was not expecting them to actually seem this much like tortillas. I'll just give it a plain taste here.
The peanut butter and crackers is good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just straight up tortilla. But I gotta try it all, I guess. So cheese spread with bacon. Here we come. Tear it. Do you know? Are these all roughly the same calorically?
I would guess so.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense that
I
they
don't
would have
see
one.
that we have total.
one
so-
that's 1,000 and one that's 2,500.
like my pizza slice is 260 calories. But I guessing these are over 1,000 calorie meals. I'm pretty
Are they?
sure.
My beef patty is only 140 calories. But I make up for it, I think, with all my extra stuff here.
Yeah, maybe I'm being a little overshooting with 1,000, but I think mine probably gets close to 1,000. My protein bar has more calories than my main course. It has 270 calories. It is good though.
All right, I gotta get this thing open. Everything else is opened very easily so far until I get to this tube of cheesy spread with bacon.
I'm not gonna try my applesauce.
I'm not
'Cause it
huge on
has a
applesauce. Can you open that? God, I'd just be starving out here, Tanner. I wouldn't make it anywhere.
Ugh.
Okay, if it's hard, then I'm just gonna bite it open.
Yeah,
Or
you
did
might
get
have
it?
to.
Okay.
That's
It
what
says-
she said.
It says tear at corner, which makes
Yeah,
you
I
think,
know.
oh, it should open so easy. There we go. Okay. Little processed cheese for my there's a smell coming out of this thing. There's something about bacon though, like especially when
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really trying to be bacon.
Right.
I don't eat a lot of cheese from tubes of. It's kind of
It's
actually
got
similar.
like a cheese whiz feel.
Yeah,
almost,
it's kind of similar to when you make the shells with cheese and it comes in the
Yeah.
envelope or the little package of cheese. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. Overall,
It actually does taste like bacon.
yeah.
Yeah. Like if someone gave this to me If I was hungry and my wife went and got this and came back, I'd be like, oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, right. Overall, if you were hungry,
Yeah. You didn't want any of it, did you?
no, and you got this as a meal, you'd probably be like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
I can eat this and be not hungry." I'm gonna eat these cashews.
Okay, so on to the good stuff here. So one more time, what's the name of the bar?
First Strike Nutritious Energy Bar. Nutritious might be a generous word.
It's good though.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
These cashews are a little spicy.
Yeah, it's just a chewy, kind of chocolatey, like some puffed rice in there.
Yep.
Okay. That one I approve.
Have you sampled mostly everything then?
No, I got 2 left.
Oh, what do you got left still? Shit, those cashews are spicier than I bargained
I got the
for.
oatmeal chocolate chunk cookie.
Oh,
Only 19 grams of sugar in this bad boy. All right. Open her up. Oh, and it looks like a cookie. Oh, very crumbly. Holy.
and that's what flavor? Oatmeal? Mm-hmm. I'll try a bite.
Good. I mean, it's dry and crumbly, but
Kind of tastes like a giant Chips Ahoy.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could totally
It
eat
is
that.
good though.
Yeah.
It is unnecessary. It feels like that comes with that M&Ms.
Doesn't it?
Like, do I need 2 desserts in this meal?
Well, so you get a 290 calorie cookie and 250 calories of M&Ms.
So over 500 calories of your desserts.
I don't need to open the unless you want some M&Ms. I don't need to open them to find out
you
those are
can
about because
save those.
I
Yeah.
had some M&Ms in my day.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall,
Well, we got to give it. You got to give your menu 19. What is menu 19 again called? The beef patty, or
beef patty, jalapeno pepper jack.
yep. Out of five potential JD Power and Associates awards.
God, it's hard because I want to grade it on the scale of like
Good food.
how these. Well, it's like, do I grade it on the scale of food or do I grade it on the scale of how I think maybe these other things might taste? Because I have I have nothing to base this on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I want to think that this is probably one of the better ones. So if we have an MRE JD Power ratings, I gotta think that this is probably like in that 3.5 to 4 territory.
I think it probably is.
Yeah. Just the sides alone are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like, the potatoes are good. The tortilla and the cheese is good. The cookies and M&Ms are both good.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you don't have a problem with the texture of the beef patty, because the beef patty, the flavor is fine. It's just the texture's got that,
Right.
dehydrated, crumbly taste. But yeah, I would think this has to be probably. This actually, as far as MREs, this has to be like a 4. I would think.
That could be a 4. I think.
Yeah. I
that
can't
could
imagine
be
there's a
4.
whole lot. How many are there? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not sure how
Is
many
there
different
20?
choices there might. Yeah.
Is there 30 of them?
There could be. I don't
Okay.
really know. That seems like a lot. Maybe there is just like 20.
I have a hard time believing there's like 6 that taste better than this one.
Yeah, I bet it's a 4.
Yeah, I think it is. What about yours?
Overall, pretty good. If I was stuck in the field for a week and someone threw me this, I'd be like, well, I cannot be starving now because of this. Like the actual pizza part of it, not that great, but not terrible. I'm curious what other people's take is on this pizza one. I've never had that before, but I've had worse things. It's 1,000 times better than the veggie omelet.
The
But
idea
the
that now sounds really gross.
Yeah, the sides are pretty decent though with the First Strike.
Yeah, that bar's
bar.
not bad.
And this one does have peanut butter, and I liked that. And it has the jalapeno cashews.
Yeah.
And applesauce, not bad. I
Actually,
would probably
all
give
the
this,
sides were pretty good in yours,
Yeah.
weren't they? Yeah.
I'd probably give this one a 3.5, tiptoeing towards the 4.
Yeah, I could see that. So,
'Cause-
okay, because I don't know how this works. Like, was there ever periods of time where you were eating these for like many days in a row?
Yeah, where like at least one of your meals is
Well-
one of these every day, but not where every one of your.
Okay.
There's probably some people where that's true. But for me, usually like but so here's the thing: if you're out in the field,
like Sergeant Anderson, he just
Yeah.
went to do a little whatever.
yeah, they're like a couple week training, and usually they were in the field quite a bit. And a lot of times when you're in the field, what they'll do is bring you 1 or 2 hot meals a day, like either breakfast or supper. They'll bring it out in like, I don't know, if you've been in the Army, you know, like these giant green containers that they throw in the back of the Humvees and bring out to the field, and they set up a little makeshift lunch line, and you go through there, and they'll do that once or twice a day. And for your other meals, you'll eat these. So for like lunch, you'll almost always have this because you're just kind of like working through lunch, or like not working half the time anyways, but you're just stuck there. Yeah. So like it's an experience for the.
So then
you're killing time. Like everyone busts out their MRE, and you're like,
it's like Christmas. Like
yeah, right, right.
Is it like a superior just like throws one to you and you get what you get, or is there some?
That might, like in basic training, that's for sure what happens. But like, and in some scenarios, that's what happens because maybe there's not time to sit. But like a lot of times, like I'm thinking of my latter years, it was like you'd dig around and find stuff.
So there's a big
and,
tote or whatever, and you just
and
pick
like
what you
you'd
want.
have things stashed and stuff like that. Yeah,
Could
they
you
come
ever
in cardboard boxes of like 20 up pack in the pack?
Could you ever, let's say you eat one and you're hungry, could you ever get a second one?
I no doubt did that at times for sure. But also, like, they're not that good either. So you're never like, I really want a lot more of these. It's just kind of like, it is just like like, it's like, yeah, it's something. It is like, but the thing is, the hot meals that they would bring out, like, not sea rations, that's an older term, but I can't think of the term, but they're not good. They're actually really bad. Like, a lot of times it's like, you're
Just
getting
trying to find the least offensive.
yeah,
meal
you're
today.
getting like a really chintzy sectioned off styrofoam plate, and in one of the sections it's a salad, which is just like lettuce with like the carrot strips on it, like an awful salad.
Yeah.
The one section is green beans. There's a pretty shitty dessert, like some like brownie.
Oh.
And then the main course is something meat. You know, it's going to be like kind of like that beef patty thing, only a little less processed, but maybe barely less processed, but it is hot. So like those meals were almost worse than this.
Okay.
But it was like a change of pace, I suppose, is the bigger thing where you're like, oh, at least I don't have to eat an MRE now for this. So that's my experience. I mean, I suppose experiences may vary, but yeah, that's how it was for me in most of my time.
All right. I got to just open this to see what's all in here. This kind of the extras packet.
Yep.
Now that my hands are
are you gonna try the lax? You should try a piece of laxative gum.
Let's see if I can poop.
Actually, I might use the moist towelette. My hands a little
I
sticky.
was saying my hands are so greasy. I'm having trouble opening it. That cookie was good. I got to give the cookie credit. Is that what this is right here?
I think that's just a dry towel.
A dry towelette.
Yeah.
All right. So we have creamer, non-dairy. Don't need any creamer. We have 0 calorie sweetener. We have Bill's Brew.
There you go.
Freeze-dried coffee. Yep, there it is.
Back at that time, I never drank coffee, so I never even messed with that. But now, if it was me now, I probably would just for something to do.
Allow water, just chemically purified, to stand 30 minutes before adding coffee. Add coffee to 6 ounces, quarter canteen cup of hot or cold water, and stir. All right. And then we have regular sugar, a little bit of salt, dry towel, moist towelette.
Well, really, this, I think, if memory serves me possibly correctly, this could serve as some toilet paper in a pinch. This one right here.
If there's no YMCA's around.
Yeah. That's kind of what we're dealing with here, is maybe some makeshift toilet paper if need be.
Is that the idea behind it?
I think so, honestly. Right. That's what I...
It says, on the package, it says if you chew gum, use this.
Yes. Yes, you're going to need it.
Okay.
I'm all about that moist towelette, though. Get my sticky fingers gone.
That did help, but now my fingers are all wet. I'm trying to open up this little package of gum.
Oh, that's better. So you did give yours a 4. I'm going to go officially 3.5. We've probably got about 18 menu items left to rate on the show, and I don't know for how long this takes if we want to do an MRE opening, but this was a special occasion. So.
It was a very special one.
This moist towelette comes in handy for trying to clean the crap out of my mustache after doing this too.
Oh, we made fettuccine Alfredo tonight, and that's one of those things, like dairy-based things. To me, when they get just on the facial hair, like corn on the cob. Do you do corn on the cob, Tanner?
I have several times this year. It's been pretty good.
Does it feel like the butter is just permanently a part of you?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of like grosses
like until
me
I
out.
like take a shower even.
And
almost.
even then, it's almost like way.
Corn on the cob's been good this year, though. Tell you what,
Yeah, I've had some
good crop of corn on the cob.
Um,
How's the gum?
gum's good.
Yep.
It's like Big Red. It's like cinnamon, like Fireball. You know,
Is this what chewing 5 gum feels like?
I'd imagine. Gum's better than I thought it would be. You know, for those little white chiclet things.
Right.
I kind of always expected it to be something shitty, but.
And now you got peanut M&Ms to.
And I got peanut M&Ms still.
Yeah.
We'll probably say this for mom. My boy loves M&Ms. He'll be jacked to see these.
Would you have got full if you would have eaten that whole meal? Or
Well, so I skipped on a potatoes, a little bit of little tortilla shell, and a little beef patty. I don't know. Well, if I would have ate all of that and the whole bag of M&Ms, I'd be
you would
full
have
at that
ate
point.
everything.
Yeah.
If you would have eaten everything.
And M&Ms, then I'd be. If I didn't eat all the sugar, I definitely would not have been full.
Right.
You know.
That's the thing, though. Like, boy, I don't want every one of my meals to be like finishing with a giant cookie, a bag of peanut M&Ms, like
almost 600 calories from just sugar.
Right.
But I guess if you're active, then you just need calories. That's
right. That's true too.
Calories are calories at some point.
Right. So, thank you, Big Alex.
Yeah, that was a really cool
That was a fun
sack.
experience. I don't know what the audio experience was for people. We tried to take you with on a journey.
I almost kind of forget we're even doing it on that one because it's so out of the norm. It was just like, we're just recording, or we're just sitting here eating this. But that was fun, though. I really liked that.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
a
really cool.
fun way to finish an episode. I was also
I got to spit my gum out, or I'm just going to.
chomp on your gum.
But it's good, though. Good laxative gum.
Yeah. I gotta spit my gum out, or else I'm just gonna shit my pants right here. I feel it coming. You know what you could do with all those calories, though?
What?
You could go turn them into muscle by training with Juggernaut AI.
Mm-hmm.
Come with me for this ad if you want to lift. That's the Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation. So Juggernaut AI. We've both been using it for many weeks now.
Roughly 20 to be roughly exact.
Yeah, and they are obviously a paid sponsor of the podcast, but we legitimately just kind of talk about Juggernaut AI training and how it's going, and we have so many people at the gym that are using it. It's just like I almost don't go to the gym and like find out something about how someone is utilizing the Juggernaut AI app for their training.
Yeah, and I'm at the point now where my bench, my RP 9-ish 10, because that's how Juggernaut works. It usually has a
RP goal range or something you're shooting for
every
a given
block
day.
has a
10.
A 10.
There's one in there, yeah.
You're trying to go for. And as of right now, my RP 10 day just goes up 10 pounds every month. So if that keeps going, that means my bench will go 500 it'll go up 120 pounds in a year. So
which isn't bad.
I just keep riding that wave forever, I think.
That's how it historically
I think
works.
it'll go. So 3 years from now, my bench will be up 360 pounds.
But right now it is going really,
It is.
really
It
well,
goes up.
isn't it? Yeah.
And there's been a few times where I've gotten a true RP 10, like, I for sure did not have another one. And I'm like, 4 weeks. Yeah, that's not going up. And it does.
Yeah.
And there's been times where like I do what I think should be an RP 10, throw another 10 pounds on and another rep. And it still is an RP 10.
Yep.
Like I just can't quite get it, which is such an awesome feeling in training when you think you're overshooting and you're still not actually overshooting.
Yeah. And someone, I'll paint you a picture of a person that I think Juggernaut AI is an ideal person to try this. Say, it works for a number of different people, but someone I picture in my mind, you've been training for a little while, maybe 6 months, a year, could be 5 years or 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And what you've done is you kind of know about training a little bit at this point, and you've done some different programs and you've run some different templates and
You've maxed out before.
Yeah, you've maxed out. You've
had working sets.
Yeah, you've done different Excel spreadsheets and stuff, and you kind of get that, but you haven't really taken it to the next level in your training. Like you're kind of limited to just like, oh, I've done this program. Like I printed out this program, I did that program,
and I went good. So I'm going to run the program again,
right,
but I'll just
right.
put all my maxes in at like 10 pounds heavier this time.
I really feel like this is a level beyond that.
Absolutely.
And it's at a price that is extremely reasonable for what you're getting. In my opinion, for sure.
If you use code Massenomics.
Yes, that'll save you 10% off the lifetime of that membership. So go to the website on your web browser. It could be on your phone, but go through the browser. Don't necessarily go through the App Store. Go to Juggernaut AI, get signed up there. Use discount code Massenomics, Massenomics. Save you 10%. Ends up costing you about $30 a month. Mm-hmm. And there's no like commitment or anything.
It's like $1 a day. That's actually, as far as training sessions go, I mean, it depends. If you, like me, and you train 3 days a week, or some of the guys in the gym train 5 days a week.
Yeah.
But the more you train, I guess technically the cheaper it is per training session.
That's true. So $30 a month, that's like 3 cups of coffee from Starbucks.
Maybe not even.
Because I remember on the
like
old like
2 burgers from McDonald's.
Right. On the old like animal helping animals things, or like helping children in like starving countries.
Oh yeah.
On the commercials, it was always like
for the price of a
yes. It's like for the price of like 2 Starbucks trips, you could afford this every month.
Yeah, it's dumb not to.
If you put pencil to paper, this isn't
like really. This is if you're thinking right now financially, can I make this work? I'll do this. If your options are okay, we'll say on one hand you have Juggernaut. That's your choice. Okay, you have a budget, and on the other hand you have some combination of protein, creatine, other things. For sure, go with the training.
Yeah.
That's the smarter thing.
Well,
to
and
do
you're
here.
even saying protein, creatine. You're saying like the smartest
smart
possible
things.
choices.
Yeah, even
how about like not those even
some
like
crazy BCAAs.
How about anything that's not protein, creatine, or potentially caffeine? Like anything that's not those, especially.
I'm just saying if you're really pinching pennies here,
right.
Like this,
but you even said the most.
Yes, the most sensical ones.
Yeah.
But this is the smartest, I think, if you're going to spend any money on anything.
Eat some food, get some rest.
Do that part first.
Get this training.
Get this. And then if that's all in line, then you can supplement it with supplements.
Agree. Yes.
But that is only if you've taken care of steps 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Actually, steps 1, 2, and 3, which are eating, sleeping, proper training, planning, then you can look at supplements. Then you're allowed to spend money there if there's money left in your budget.
That's, I think, makes a lot of sense.
And like we're kind of being goofy, but I'm
that's true.
100% serious. If you're not doing it in that order, you are messing up. Like
right.
Like pre-workout is not like not having pre-workout is not the thing that's stopping you from achieving your goals.
No, especially if your goal is to get stronger over the long term.
Yeah.
Maybe your goal is to just be buzzed off caffeine and like max out every other week and not really make progress. If that's your goal, then that's probably the way. But if you're like, I would like to actually do this and get stronger, the proper training through something like Juggernaut AI would be far ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd be off.
Get signed up. We're sold out of jorts completely. No jorts left. We're looking at options for like maybe someday we'll have jorts again, but
for some type of jorts tailor to.
Yep. But we did sell every single pair of jorts that we had. They were a very hot commodity.
They were. The smalls hung on just a little bit.
Yep.
But they went.
Yep. What did you have something? I don't know. Did we do that?
No, we haven't done this one yet.
Okay. Right? I don't think we have.
Okay.
Unless we did.
No, I don't think we did either.
Or did we?
What was it, that one over there? Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid 70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around burping up cookie here.
I've got a lot of the.
Not me, it's the MRE talking.
What's the bar? The hua bar. Oh, that's what we used to call them, like a hua bar. I wonder if that's changed.
Like,
Hua.
what was that, like
It was
a
a hua
nickname,
bar.
or was that actually called?
I think that's what it was called. The hua, like that just like subconsciously came
Just
to me as
popped
like
in.
the hua bar.
Yeah, you said,
'Cause,
oh, it's like
like
hua
in as a Marine, I think you say hoorah, hoorah, but in the Army we said, I've said this before, I know, but like if the drill sergeant asks you a question, the response to the group is huh, and like I do it exaggerated because over the years I just thought it was so ridiculous. Like I would just be like
we're all doing this right
now. Yeah. But I think it was called the hua bar.
Yeah.
Hua. Hua.
You look into that.
Yeah.
Give us some follow-up.
I
here
will.
in a minute.
Actually going to look into that. Good call.
Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit TexasPowerBars.com.
Speaking of bars, okay, so you see that?
Yeah.
You just look at I just want you to see the labeling.
Chocolate flavor, First Strike nutritious energy bar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's what it was. They did change it. It was the hua bar.
It kind of almost looks like this is like a knockoff of this thing.
Yeah. I wonder if hua has fallen out of favor. That they, it's not less utilized.
Yeah. Interesting.
Is
that okay if I snap a little piece of this?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm kind of
gotta go
grossed
back.
out by it
I gotta
now,
go back
so
first.
I'm good on the hua bar for several more years.
Gotta see what it's about one more time. Yeah, still not bad.
I want to know
Cookies Power Bar, still not bad.
if the Army still says hua. I don't know. To be continued. Someone else can just fill me in on that. I'm not going to do any research. Does the Army still say hua? Because they got rid of the hua bar in favor of a First Strike bar. So that
Maybe
tells
they
me
all just
something.
say First Strike now.
Yeah, that's because it's the exact same thing. They just changed the name. I was talking about apparel of ours. Get out and get you some. We are out of lift jorts, but we do have just a fresh restock of the original mesh lift shorts. The one that started it all, the granddaddy of them all. Mm-hmm. Check out lift shorts. We still have pretty good stock of lift shorts 3. Now that lift jorts are sold out, they are currently our most expensive pair of shorts in our store. So if you're looking to spend a lot of money, get the lift shorts 3.
That's a good place to start.
Tees, we recently restocked the classics. We're wearing them, actually. The lift and bench heavy, we restocked some of the classics. The Ouch tee recently was restocked. We got that back in. The High Bar Lifting Club was restocked.
Mm-hmm. For all you people in the High Bar Club.
It's been a shirt folding machine at my house getting all these restocks ready. But and then we still have some of our all go, no show tees from this last drop, as well as patches and koozies. Buy all that stuff. If you don't want to do that, please consider becoming a supporting member of the podcast.
So you
We'd
can
love
listen to
have
us eat more meals on air.
Yeah, we're going to start eating every meal on the podcast.
We're just going to
every
have dinner.
Yeah.
Like Tanner's just going to come to my house even
pass
earlier.
the salt?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Like far less conversation. Like we're going to act like there's not a podcast even going on. Like to not like make
Just you're going to hear a lot of like plates clanging
Yeah.
and forks scratching on things.
Yeah. Is that about it?
I think that's probably about it.
I don't really know how to end this one. It seems like it's just going on and on.
Yeah, I don't either.
If you're listening, maybe you're
Thinking, God, I wish they could figure out how to end
yeah,
this.
you're watching your time go down on your
They wrap it up.
Like I thought it
This
was going to be
couldn't be
over.
done
What are they
10
still
minutes ago.
talking about?
They ran that Juggernaut ad somehow took 5 minutes. Don't even know if it was an ad or an endorsement. It was,
That's the thing. We blur the lines of an ad and the rest of the show. So
it's like when you're
read.
reading a magazine and you think it looks like you're reading
you're like,
there's an article,
hey.
but then on the bottom it says this is an advertisement.
Or like our local newspaper where almost the entire thing is that. And you're like, wait, there's no news articles in here. It's all ads for weird prescription drugs.
Yeah.
Tommy, where do they find you
You
at?
can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can find me at Tanner_Baird, but nobody cares about that. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.